Hey everyone, been getting some requests to understand better how to reach out to the Notre Dame network. So I went and made a screencast with my good buddy, Ben Hoggan, who is our local guru at it. And so over the next about 10 minutes, we're going to walk through some of his tools and techniques. But the short primer on Ben is that he is the member in the Engine Accelerator responsible for doing almost all of our customer outreach. So he's the best person in the Idea Center to be able to ask this question. So Ben, why don't you say a sentence or two about what you do here, and then let's jump in it.
Yep. So I'm the director of DeRisking, and basically what we do is kind of two pieces. One is let's understand customers really well and build empathy for their problems and perceptions. And so I teach how to do qualitative and quantitative customer research. I do a lot of it myself. And I've got a team of analysts that helps me do that. And then we also do market tests. So what is the actual appetite for your particular solution? And so that looks a lot like, hey, can we get 5 people that are in? Can we put up a landing page and drive traffic to it? Can we measure a conversion rate on an email campaign sort of stuff? Can we find pilot customers? And you can literally do that for any business, no matter what it is. But so John said you guys are having struggles on how to reach out to the Notre Dame network. And so I'm going to give you a couple ways to do that and a couple tools and maybe an email template. Just to kind of reinforce this. So I've been doing this for a number of years now, and I've taught dozens of analysts how to do this, and we've reached out to thousands and thousands of members of the Notre Dame network, and we get absolutely fantastic response rates compared to industry like emails and things like that. Usually if you're sending cold emails, you can expect to have like a 2%-ish response rate. Kind of depends on the industry and how targeted your emails are. We get up to like a 50 or even 60% email response rate when we send targeted emails that are customized to members of the Notre Dame alumni. And so I'm going to show you how we do that. And this is like, I'll even give you the email template that we use when we're reaching out. To kind of reinforce that, right here on my screen is Oscar. He's one of my new analysts, and today he learned the value of the Notre Dame network. And so he found a tool, he's using a tool called Irish Compass that we use a lot. And he's trying to find anesthesiologists, which are a hard group of people to get a hold of. He's able to get a bunch of people to respond and like 70 people to like his post in a matter of minutes, and having never posted on Irish Compass before. So another believer. So I'm going to show you so the first kind of thing that we do is say, who's the type of person that we want to reach out to? And so like, I've never done a search for anesthesiologists before. Let's see how it goes. Actually, maybe, John, is there a specific group that, you know, an example from Race to Revenue?
Just go with that for right now, because this is going to apply to both the racers and the OSV guys.
So what we do is we say, who's the target person that we want to reach out to? And so maybe it's anesthesiologists, maybe it's product managers, maybe it's marketing people, you know, whoever the kind of the title or the person, the persona that you're reaching out to. So I just have regular LinkedIn up right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the search, and I'm going to search for people. And then I'm going to come over here to all filters. And so this is awesome if you've got LinkedIn Premium. Even if you don't, you're going to get a lot of people. And so you've got all these filters over here. And the two that I find most useful are this one right here, schools. And so you can see I've already got University of Notre Dame. So this is only going to show me people that either worked at or studied at University of Notre Dame, because I want people that are most likely to respond. And then down here, you've got title. And so this is your job title. You can search by any of these other things. So, you know, industry or past companies or things like that. But I like to search by title because that's usually what I'm looking for. And so why don't we do something like marketing manager. And then we're going to go ahead and see that. And this is going to give us a list of all of the people in my LinkedIn network that have ever worked or are currently working as a marketing manager and come from the University of Notre Dame. So if we come over here to Emily, I've never done this search before. Let's look at her experience. We'll see that she studied at University of Notre Dame and that she's a marketing and operations director at Neighborhood Sun, which I don't know what Neighborhood Sun is. Something about solar marketing and stuff. So now what do you do with that? There's a couple other tools that I'm going to introduce you to. The first one is Rocket Reach. And so there's a lot of, Rocket Reach is an email gathering tool. There's a lot of different ones, rocketreach.co, whoknows.com, Cirrus Insights. There's a bunch of them. There's like 20 of them. I happen to like Rocket Reach, and I'm also using one called Who Knows because it's created by a Notre Dame alumni, or it's invested in by a Notre Dame alumni. And so what you can do is you can either come over here and say, ooh, I really like Emily, I want to talk to her. And then you can just go ahead and search straight for Emily, and it will pull up after a moment the same Emily Tarakowski who works for Neighborhood Sun, and then you just hit get contact information. So my account might not have any credits. I'm out of lookups, but you'll see right here that you've got Emily at neighborhoodsun.solar, and you've even got a phone number. So now I've got.
On that, is Rocket Reach free for everybody, or how do people access Rocket Reach?
Yep. So it's free to create an account, and I believe Rocket Reach gives you 100 lookups the first time that you use it.
Okay.
If we needed to, we could certainly probably fund small milestones of like $100 for a month of Rocket Reach, so that you could have 500 contacts or something like that. You can kind of hop from platform to platform and take advantage of all of their free contact lists. Some of them give you fewer. I think Who Knows gives you like 5, but I think Rocket Reach gives you the most. It's like 100 free lookups. So now you've got Emily, you know who she is, and the goal is to reach out to her. Each one of these tools will also allow you to kind of do the same sort of lookup, and will generate longer lists. This is going back to I apologize. But you can export those lists after you've made longer contact lists, put them into Excel, and then kind of send mass emails if you want, using something like Yet Another Mail Merge. I actually encourage sending personalized emails to each person. It takes a lot longer, but you will get much better results as far as response rates. So find the type of person, either through Rocket Reach, lets you search, or through LinkedIn. I don't actually recommend sending messages on LinkedIn unless you're trying to reach out to recruiters. Most people don't check their LinkedIn messages very often at all. Unless you're a recruiter, then they check it all the time. So you're going to find the people, you're going to hypothesize about the people, define them, you're going to find their contact information using something like Rocket Reach or Cirrus Insight or one of the others, and then you're going to reach out to them. And so here's the email template that we use here at in my program, and it's very short, but it's very specific. And so, sorry, OSV guys, this is targeted towards Notre Dame students, but you can kind of fill in some of your own things that might make sense as well.
They'll actually be able to say that because they're getting a certificate, so they're technically students.
Fantastic. All right, so people love to help students, and people love to help the Notre Dame network. And so, and people also love to help people that are looking for help. And so right in the subject, I'm very generic. I say Notre Dame student seeking help. It's non-threatening, and it kind of pulls a bunch of those little heartstrings. I also like to be very colloquial in my emails. A lot of my analysts and other people that I've worked with like to write very formal emails, but people respond to people being people. And so I like to humanize as much as possible and speak in language that's normal and natural for you. Don't write a 5-paragraph email that is very specific and well worded. I like to use 3-sentence emails that are fun and personal. So I just say hi and call them by their first name. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then say I'm a student at the Notre Dame doing some market research as part of an internship at the Idea Center.
For the OSVers, I would say make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date too, because if they then look at your LinkedIn, it won't show that educational background. So put something in there about getting the Catholic Innovation Certificate through the Idea Center.
Yep. And so this kind of pulls on some of those same heartstrings and also humanizes and diffuses the situation. A lot of times when people are getting emails like this, like it is market research and it's competitive intelligence. And so you want to kind of put them at ease. And so saying you're a student makes you kind of harmless and non-threatening. It also makes them more willing to help you. Again, Notre Dame, when you say market research and internship, people kind of tend to let their guard down a little bit. And then we also like to put in the Idea Center so that people have something to Google, so that that it's an actual organization. And then I always like to put in a sentence or two about what you're looking for and why that person fits what you're looking for, to show that you're not just blasting emails to 1 million people, even though you actually are. And so I always say something like, I'm looking for someone who's an expert in marketing strategy. And I saw from your LinkedIn profile that, you spent a long time at Neighborhood Sun as the marketing and operations director, and director of marketing for solar before that. When you show that you did your research, people are much more likely to respond to you because it doesn't look like a form email. And then the last one, the last sentence. Yep.
I'm just going to jump in for a second. I actually have to go on mute to call David Murphy for a second. If you could keep going and maybe just cover the Irish compass thing too. And I don't know if there's other cool tools, but do you have a few more minutes to keep going?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Okay. I'm going to go on mute, but I'll keep this recording going.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
All right. So the last thing is, I always want to make sure that I'm getting on the phone with a person rather than letting them respond through email, because I'm a big believer in the power of connection and empathetic understanding of your customer. So the last sentence, I was hoping to ask you a couple questions. It should only take 10 minutes. Do you have time in the next couple of days for a quick call? This does a bunch of things around expectation setting. It says, I want to have a very small ask. So if you ask somebody for an hour or 30 minutes, they'll usually say no. But if you couch it in like, I just need a quick 10-minute phone call, that lowers the threshold of what they need to commit to you, and they're much more likely to say yes. And it also gives them a lot of flexibility on like when they can take the call, so we do a lot of interviews when people are driving home from work. And then the last one is kind of a soft bracket. Do you have time in the next couple of days? I don't want to get on the phone with you in a month. I want to do this relatively quickly. And so it gives them some flexibility to set their own schedule, while at the same time saying that there's a little bit of a sense of urgency. And then I say quick call because I want to get on the phone. I don't want to do this over email. I don't want to do it over text message. Zoom's great if somebody wants to do that. But usually it's a lot easier for somebody to just jump on a quick phone call. So those are kind of the different pieces. An email like this usually takes like 1 to 2 minutes per email to send out once you've kind of built your email list. And so, if you export out of Rocket Reach into an Excel file, you can literally just see people's first and last names and then some of their experience and blast these emails out really fast. I've had some people do it through like yet another mail merge, which fills in these blanks out of an Excel sheet. And for most people, it's easier to just kind of do it without the yet another mail merge, just sending customized emails really quickly. Generally, for sending something like 50 emails, it's going to take you like 3 to 4 hours, but out of 50 emails, depending on the type of person that you're trying to reach out to, you could expect to set up, somewhere between 10 and 20 interviews. And so it's well worth the time to sit and invest in sending out some targeted emails. The last one is Irish Compass. Kind of forgot about this. Irish Compass. So what Irish Compass is a forum for Notre Dame students and Notre Dame alumni to connect. And I haven't been on this in a little bit. I usually have my analyst do it. So I'm going to see if I can get set up here. But it's loading. Oh, log in, of course. Come on. See if we can get into Irish Compass. All right, fantastic. All right, so there's a lot of different things that you can do on Irish Compass that it was set up for. It's got a job board and is designed to connect people to different mentorships. I like to go to the industry groups and then make specific posts in industry groups. So if you can see that a lot of mine are entrepreneurship, healthcare, and like biotech and pharmaceuticals. That's because the types of people that I've been looking for have kind of fallen into those categories. They've got all these other categories along the side here, and there's all groups over here. But all I like to do is come over to the group that kind of fits the industry that I'm looking for. So if you were looking for marketing professionals, you'd go to somewhere else. Say we're looking for, one that we've done in the past is colon oncologists, people that work on colon oncology. Come over here to biotech and pharmaceuticals, or maybe you could come over to healthcare down here and go to the discussion. And so you can either come to members and send targeted messages, or you can come over here and say something like ND student looking to connect with oncologists. And then just give a little bit of detail about who you are, what you're doing, and why you want to connect with oncologists. I like to be a little bit vague while still being open and honest. So, if I'm working on a technology that is designed to, do better diagnostics for colon oncology, I might say something like, hey, my name's Ben, and I'm working with the Idea Center, and we are, looking at different ways of doing diagnostics for colon oncology. I'd love to talk to a couple colon oncologists who have experience in diagnostics. Is anybody available, or can anybody connect me? And when we do that, we've gotten really good response rates, even from really kind of high-end oncologists. I remember we got a couple of the kind of top-tier people in the industry the last time we posted for something like that. We were looking for people who were doing breast cancer diagnostics and research, breast cancer diagnostics research. And we ended up setting up a clinical trial with one of the groups that we were working with. So you can do that for any industry group. They have a bunch of different ones. The biotech and healthcare is just where I've found the people that I've been frustrated with trying to do other types of outreach. So like oncologists don't respond to email very well, and so we've posted on here. If you guys have other questions, I'm happy to do another screencast, and there's a lot more we could go into, but basically you want to hypothesize or make some definition around who is the target person and where are they most likely to respond. And then gave you a couple tools like Rocket Reach for finding email addresses and some good best practices for reaching out. other groups are easier to recruit over things like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. You know, if you're looking more for like moms with children, and then other people that are, you know, maybe a little bit more industry experts, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, B2B, it would probably be really good to post on Irish Compass. So that's what I got, and I'm sure John will follow up if we've got more.
Thank you, dude.